What do you get if you take the slippery H. Moser & Company Streamliner, add the coolest complication ever, and cut out all the excess? Why, the most streamlined streamliner yet, the Streamliner Tourbillon Skeleton. Here's everything you need to know about it. The 2020 Streamliner was made instantly famous by its aerodynamic simplicity, using smooth lines and flowing forms instead of hard angles and jagged lines to blend case into bracelet. From the achingly beautiful centisecond to the delicately poised chronograph, and even the wildly complex perpetual calendar, Moser's designs have always had a knack for bringing simplicity to complexity, with the smooth splendor of a greased weasel. It seems then that the Tourbillon Skeleton could be about to screw all that up, where the fanfare of components used to power these watches is usually tucked away behind a gleaming dial. With the Tourbillon Skeleton, there's no such modesty. Here they're out on show like Nana's tea set. There's nothing to hide behind, and so every single component has to be on its best behavior. Let's take a closer look. The focal point is of course the tourbillon, which is of the flying variety. Alas, that doesn't mean the watch can hover. It gets the term because the cage is supported entirely from the underside. That opens up the front to, quite simply, look really sweet. There's no functional benefit. They just did it like that because it looks absolutely awesome. And with the tourbillon completely unobstructed, now it means still not being able to understand how it works, but clearer. From the auto-winding system, into the mainspring, down through the gear train and onto the escapement, Moser have peeled back as much material as possible to get every last detail on show. The caliber HMC 814 is entirely shameless, with even the keyless works, where the winding and setting take place, revealing a barrage of components. So given that Moser typically likes to keep things trim and tidy, will the busy Tourbillon Skeleton have the Homeowners Association on its 40mm stainless steel case? Thanks to some clever design, I think they're going to get away with it. Taking inspiration from the pioneer cylindrical Tourbillon Skeleton, the main structure of the caliber HMC 814 features 4 spidery supports, the legs of this Streamliner's scarab beetle-like form. These receive an anthracite finish. With each additional layer, and there are many, the shade lightens, grouping components to make the watch effortlessly comprehensible. The most important parts, the wheels, springs and levers, get the lightest color, making the visual cascade immediately apparent. You'll even see the mainspring coiled up within the barrel. The balance itself, the heart of the movement and one of the very few in the world to receive an in-house hairspring, is finished in a golden hue, elevating its status as king of this particular castle. Wait, I told a mistruth there. This is a double hairspring balance, so it actually gets 2 springs, each acting in the opposite direction to counter gravity. Whilst removing material from, say, a wheel reduces its weight and therefore impact on the movement, skeletonizing a watch only serves one purpose. Again, it looks really sweet. But as I can tell you from personal experience, being cool isn't easy. The caliber must maintain its structural integrity, and that requires incredible precision to make. There's no hot gluing this one back together if a watchmaker makes a mistake. Even the rotor weight gets skeletonized. Thankfully, it's in gold, so what's left still has enough mass to keep the watch wound for the full 72 hours. With all 167 parts on show, each must be considered in its finish equally. There's no rug to sweep them under, and so whether polished, brushed or frosted, they each gleam like tiny little jewels, especially the jewels. And if you're a budding watchmaker looking to learn the ropes of watchmaking, there's no better watch to see how it all works. Oh, you want me to tell you? Here goes. When the rotor spins, it walks those 2 little pawls either side of the wheel top left, so no matter which way it goes, that movement can be captured in the mainspring, which then feeds that kinetic energy down along a waterfall of gears, which speed up one after the other. Along the way, one of those gears, which turns once per hour, drives the minute hand, which in turn has another gear offset to slow the speed back down for the hour hand. Meanwhile, at the bottom of that waterfall is the tourbillon, which makes 1 full rotation every minute. Why? So the escapement within is neutralized against gravity. Inside the tourbillon is where the magic happens, with 3 core parts, the balance, pallet fork and escape wheel, acting like a mechanical capacitor to regulate the speed of the mainspring's energy. The outcome, 6 equally spaced ticks per second, every second. And breathe. Combining the tourbillon with the double hairspring basically makes this watch think it's in space, although given how intricate it looks, you'd be forgiven for thinking it's best left at home. Nope, This is a Moser Streamliner, and that means you'll be taking it with you, because it's just as capable as every other watch in the collection. There's 120 meters of water resistance, not particularly useful in orbit, I'll agree, but that means you can not only take your Tourbillon Skeleton watch in the shower, you can even take it scuba diving if you are so inclined. The only thing Moser haven't been able to engineer out is how pale my wrist looks on the other side. It really is possible to have it all, so long as by all we mean a streamliner with the tourbillon movement skeletonized to look really cool, because that's what H. Moser and Company have done here. It says so on the label. With the combination of rugged usability and exquisite intricacy, I think the Streamliner Tourbillon Skeleton may have just replaced Instagram for the best way to pass time in the bathroom. And really, it begs the question, why wear something boring when you could be wearing this instead?